Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday live stream. Hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. I hope you all are staying cool because I know across much of the U.S. we're seeing record heat. So I do hope that you all are in a position to be able to stay cool and enjoy the summer. So while I'm waiting for everyone to join us, I'll do a quick introduction and rundown on the live stream. I know many of you join regularly, so you know how this works, but I do it in 3 parts. First 10 minutes, I'll go over our latest properties. Second part, I'll go over our latest blog posts and videos and other informational content we've done. And then the third part, the last 10 minutes, is the vacation giveaway, which I know everyone joins for that. So stay to the end and you get to potentially win a vacation. And of course, as I take a break, I'll look at the chat screen throughout my whole spiel. If I see that there's an interesting conversation going on, or if you have any questions, I'm going to jump in, answer questions, join in on the conversation, just say hi to people. So we're all here to have a conversation. I do like it when we can get conversations started. All right. So it doesn't look like anyone's joined yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do our introduction. So if you are new to the live stream or you're just watching online for fun after this is over, and you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Erica. I have a company, voucher Capital. If you're ever curious about the name, I'm happy to share the little backstory of that. But I primarily buy and sell vacant land, exclusively vacant land, so land without improvements on it. But as part of a side project for my business, I do like to put out informational content, primarily because when I started land investing, I found that there was not a lot of information online to help people do proper due diligence for vacant land, which is actually surprisingly a pretty difficult real estate type to wrap your head around. There's a lot, especially if you're looking to build on a property, a lot that you need to research to ensure that the property can actually work for a home or whatever you want to put on it. Same goes for agriculture or other specific uses like hunting, timber, and all of that. So I like to put out the kind of content that I wanted to see when I was learning about vacant land. And I do that both through my YouTube channel, which if you're on YouTube, you're probably familiar with it, but you can just search voucher Capital on YouTube. A lot of our videos are videos of the properties that we post and sell, but we do have what we call our voucher Knowledge series, where we cover important topics that we think would be useful for land buyers, sellers, and owners. And then on top of that, we do have a blog. So if you go to our website, which is vouchercapital.com, you can hover over more and see our blog. And I'll cover some of our latest blog posts in a little bit. But these are long form blog posts that also cover a lot of topics. Oh, and it looks like a couple of people have joined. So hi, everyone. Oh, Lisa, good to see you again. Thank you for joining. I think you're here every Sunday. It's amazing. So happy Sunday and good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Hi, Giselle. Thank you for joining as well. I think you've also been here the past couple Sundays. So I do really appreciate that you all take your time out, especially at 6 on a Sunday, to join. So I know all of you have shared this spiel as well, so I'm just going to really quickly say, if you go to our website, you can also click Get My Cash Offer if you're interested in selling your property, or you can see our available land by going to Buy Land. And if you're really interested in due diligence or land investing, we do have some courses, a due diligence program, land investing program, and then a course that's 31 lessons that I learned selling properties, so 31 tips to help sell properties online. All right, so I will start our first segment, which is our latest properties. Now, I did post a number of properties last week, but actually a number of them sold right away. So I have to kind of collect my thoughts and remember which ones are still available. I don't remember if last week I went over this. I don't think I went over this Campbell County property last week, so I'll start with this one. And if you've never been to our website before, you can look at an interactive map here, which shows you, it's interactive because you can zoom in on particular locations, but it shows you all of our properties. The red pins are where the properties are located, and if you click on a red pin, you get a link to that property's main listing page. We also have a table below that with a little more information on each property and also a link to the property's main listing page. Okay. Oh, and one thing I don't always call out, so you may not be familiar with this, but in this last column over here, it'll tell you if a property is on hold, and if so, until when. And so if you're interested in that property and you see that it's on hold, check out how long it's going to be on hold for, and then come back at the end of that loan term, just at the end of that hold term, to see if it's still available. And then on some properties, you'll see this little note, price reduction. We have an auto price reduction system in place. So for some of our more higher value properties, the price will automatically be reduced by a set percentage at a set date. So you can check that out too. All right, so one of our latest properties is in Tennessee. This is in Campbell County. It's a little over 3 acres, and it is just off of the Powell River. So I'm going to zoom out here on this listing page. Hello, hello. So you can see where it is in Tennessee. We're in the northeast-ish, just outside of Knoxville. And there are some recreational areas and wildlife management areas in the nearby vicinity. There's a state forest just to the south. You can see from satellite images, this is a very green area. And as I said before, we're off of the Powell River. This is a recreational area. And the property, it's kind of an odd shape, but it's a fairly big property. It's off of Flat Hollow Marina Road. And according to our research, the exciting thing about this property is there is no zoning in Campbell County, and this one, so that means the county, again, according to our research, doesn't have regulations on land use. Now, you'll still likely need to get a building permit, so they may have some restrictions on particular building types, but no restrictions on land use that we are aware of, and this property is not in an HOA. So I know a lot of you are really interested in minimally restricted land. This is one of those properties that would not have many restrictions on it. But of course, as with all of our properties, I do recommend that you call the county to go over their rules and regulations yourself if you're interested in any property, whether it's ours or anyone else's. And the main draw, again, is Powell River, so there's a lot of recreational opportunities on the river. Right now, the cash discount price is $19,999. There is a $395 document fee as well. And as with all of our properties, we do offer owner financing. Again, as with all of our properties, you're probably familiar with this, but with owner financing, it's only $1 down. There's also no interest, 0% APR, but you don't get the cash discount price when you purchase with owner financing. So just for reference, whenever you're looking at our listing page, when you see a crossed out price, that is the owner financing price. And then the price that isn't crossed out is the cash discount price. So you're getting a discount if you buy cash. Obviously, for that reason, cash is probably the better way to go, but I know property is expensive, so we try to make financing easy as well, so properties are affordable. With owner financing, it's $1 down plus the $299 document fee, and then $399 per month for 75 months. There's no prepayment penalty, and there's also no credit check, so we actually don't have an application process. You would simply go to the main listing page and click buy or hold, then click buy. The other thing, I don't always remember to point this out, but with owner financing, and this is true on all of our properties, you are not able to build on or live on the property until the end of the loan term, but you can use it for recreational purposes as long as you're in compliance with all rules and regulations. and you can make minor improvements, things like fences, maybe clearing a spot for a building pad, things like that. All right, so that's that property. Pretty excited about this one. I think this is it's a good property. And we did also we posted actually 3 properties in San Miguel County, New Mexico this week. 2 are sold and 1 just went on hold. So I'm not sure what's going on in San Miguel County, but a lot of people seem to be interested in it right now. So it is on hold. I won't go into too much detail on it because of the hold, but if that does sell, we may have another one. That was another property we posted this week. And one other property I want to call out because this is, well, it's also on hold, so I guess I won't go into as much detail on this one either, but in case it goes off hold, I know, again, a lot of people are interested in unrestricted or minimally restricted land. This is one in Canyon del Rio in Valencia County, New Mexico. That's in this area just south of Albuquerque, over here. This one, it's a very rural lot, but it's not in an HOA, and Valencia County, while it does have zoning, has fairly minimal zoning regulations. So our Canyon del Rio lots tend to be popular because, again, I know a lot of people are interested in more unrestricted land. I think you can even put RVs in this area, but again, I confirm with Valencia County. So if that's something that's interesting to you, you may want to check back in on that and see if it's available after the hold period is up. All right, so that's it for our latest properties. Most of them did go on hold, so I don't want to spend too much time on the ones that are hold in case they sell. But we also posted some blog posts, and actually before I go over those, I want to call out our latest YouTube video on solar leases. It's becoming more and more of a big topic. It's a way that I know many landowners make some extra income on their property. So if you have a property that's large enough and that's close enough to electrical infrastructure, transmission lines, and a substation primarily, it can be a way to make some passive income from your land. And I get a lot of questions about solar leases, so I put together a video on that. I tried to cover, in particular, some of the things that you should think about when going into a lease or a contract with a solar developer. So hopefully that will be useful to anyone who's considering a solar lease. And I mentioned this before, but also if you're interested in solar leases, you can check out the website Landgate and list your property there if you are, trying to find someone to lease your land to develop solar. Okay. And I do see one question here. What's available in Northern California? So we have properties in Modoc County, which is up here on the map. It's all the way to the northeast California. This is in the northern pine forest, so we're actually almost completely surrounded in this county by the Modoc National Forest. We have 2 properties here. They're in, again, the hills in the pine forest. They are part of California Pines. Let me pull up one of these listing pages. And you can see here what the surrounding context looks like. These are pretty rural lots, but it is mountains, pine forests. We are again in the California Pines Property Owners Association. So they do have some basic rules and regulations. They're not that onerous. They allow single-family homes and mobile homes, but not long-term RV use. Surprise Valley Electric should provide electricity in this area, although it may need to be extended to the property, but water and sewer would need to be well and septic. And then I see a few other questions. Not experienced with raw land acquisition. Does it cost a lot to clear acreage? Well, as with a lot of these questions, the answer, which is I know is a little bit less than helpful, is it depends. It depends on the location, but it also depends a lot on the terrain. So if you have a really hilly, rocky property or a property with a lot of big trees, but in particular, hilly, rocky is going to be expensive, especially if you're talking about bedrock. I know I'm out east in New Jersey and New York. You have bedrock like right at the surface, and a lot of times that bedrock's actually poking up through the surface, so it can become, in specific areas, very expensive to clear, if not impossible. But if you don't have the rock issue and the land's generally fairly well maintained, it's going to be a couple $1,000s, but it may not be that expensive. My recommendation is always, when it comes to construction budgeting, is to give a few local contractors a call, see if they can put together a preliminary budget for you of what you're thinking of doing. The other thing you can do is, if you're not really at that stage yet, a lot of the good real estate agents, especially the ones who work with vacant land and are familiar with the area, often have contacts with contractors, and they may not be able to give you a quote, they probably won't, but they can sometimes tell you, well, I've heard that it's within this price range, or, I know a contractor, I can just give them a quick call and ask for, very basic price range for clearing in this particular area. So I hope that's helpful, but yeah, it depends a lot on the property. Another big thing is access through the property, how easy it is for the contractor to get any required equipment to the spot that you need to clear. And another question, it seems like you should get paid for the lumber that was cut down and the cost would be negligible, or you might collect some money. What has been your experience? So if you're talking about, clearing a forested lot, it depends on whether the trees you're clearing have timber value. And it also depends on how many you're clearing. If it's just a building lot, the amount of trees that you'll clear costs a lot too. Well, if you're clearing a lot of acreage, so if you're actually logging the property or collecting the timber, and you're clearing it for the timber, then no, you wouldn't pay to clear those trees. Usually what happens is the logging company will come out, do everything for you. They'll also sell your timber, and they'll take a cut of the profit. So you won't pay them anything. But if you're talking about just clearing a building pad, you're probably not going to get much money for the trees that are being felled, because it's far more expensive. The cost to value ratio doesn't make sense when you get to a small enough number of trees, if that makes sense. So it depends on how much land you're clearing, what the purpose of the clearing is, what the terrain is like, and what kind of trees you have on your property, and what their actual timber value would be on the market. If you're selling timber as well, the other thing to keep in mind is that you generally need to be within a reasonable distance to a timber mill, because if it takes too long or it's too onerous to transport the timber, you're not going to get a great price for it. You may not even be able to find a logging company who thinks it's worth it. So just some things to keep in mind. Okay. All right. In terms of blog posts, there was one that I posted this week that I really wanted to call out. Silvopasture, which is a concept that I'm fairly excited about. We recently just took a trip out west. We were driving around Colorado. I remember every time I go out west, or anytime I go to a more rural area where you still see a lot of the U.S.'s kind of natural beauty and heritage, it always makes me optimistic about our ability and private landowners' ability to be good stewards of the land. I know there's a lot of pessimism in certain communities these days, but I think that there are many people who are private landowners and who do a wonderful job at protecting our natural heritage. And so that's always, something that excites me. And one way that a private landowner can both protect their land, protect the ecosystem, the natural beauty of the property, and also make money off of it is through silvopasture techniques if you're in the right location. And this is basically combining forests with pasture. So you're grazing animals, you're raising forage for those animals, but you're also raising trees. Sometimes those trees are purely for soil restoration, ecosystem restoration, beauty, but often those trees can have value as well. So you can, if you're already farming the land or ranching the land, you can increase the value of that property by planting timber trees in your forage or in your pastures, or you could consider planting fruit trees or some kind of crop tree that'll bring in additional revenue for your operation as well. So it's a topic I was really excited about. I was really excited to post this blog. I hope that you check it out, or even if you don't read this blog, you do some research on silvopasture, especially if you're considering buying land for ranching, or you're going to have some ranching. It's a cool topic because it can increase your income, but it can also really help the soil quality on your property, which is anyone whoever tries to farm or even raise forage or do anything that involves growing crops, you know that soil health is incredibly important, and it can be difficult to steward that. So trees are one way to help improve soil health. All right, so we are now, that actually went very quickly today. We got some good questions too, so thank you everyone. But this leads us to, I know, the most important segment here, which is the vacation giveaway, probably why you're all here, unless there are any other questions. Hi, William. So I know, again, many of you are familiar with these terms, but I cover them every week just so everyone is on the same page. What I'm giving away is a voucher that's valid for, it's usually a 3-night, but in some locations it's 4 nights, a 4-night stay in what our travel partner classifies as a luxury hotel. The hotel stay is complimentary, but you do pay the regular taxes associated with the 3 or 4 nights. If you have any questions about why that is, I can answer that offline. But the way it works is if you win, I would send you a list of locations. It's over 50, I believe. About 30 of them are in the US, and then there's another chunk that are global. You would let me know which location you're interested in, and then I would send you the link to the voucher. When you get that link, you have 7 days to redeem it. At the time that you redeem the voucher, you do need to pay the taxes, but you do not have to book your hotel stay. You have 18 months to decide when you want to go and book your exact dates. In each location, there are a number of different hotels you can choose from as well. You can't see them up front. You see them once you redeem the voucher. But again, you don't have to select the exact hotel until it's time for you to book. So you have 18 months to pick your hotel and your dates. A few other things to keep in mind. The hotel stay is generally for 1 or 2 people, so a person or couple, but there will be some hotels that allow you to bring 2 children, up to 2 children. They'll just be less of, you'll have a smaller selection. You will also have some limitations on when you can book. So generally, major holidays are off limits, and there's usually a small fee for booking on the weekend. So those are just some of the things to keep in mind. The other thing to note is you can only redeem 1 voucher a year. So you have to wait, if you've already gotten a voucher, you have to wait 12 months. But having said that, you should still participate because you have a couple options. If you win and you've already gotten a voucher, you can give the voucher to friends or family as long as they aren't going with you on the trip that you redeemed. Or we can offer a hotel savings card as well, and you can have an unlimited number of those. All right, so I think that's the basic terms. And the way this works is anyone who's interested in participating, just say yes in the chat. We'll assign everyone a number in the order they said yes. First person is 1, second is 2, so on and so on. And then I'll have Google pick a random number. The number that's selected, the person whose number is selected will be this week's winner. So if no one has any questions, I'll wait about a minute to make sure everyone has a chance to say yes in the chat. And again, I don't know how many of you were here at the very beginning when I started out, but I hope you're all having a wonderful July. I know it's very hot in many parts of the country. So hope you all are staying cool and actually enjoying the summer heat. We had a trip this past week, so I'm full of energy, refreshed and revamped. Summer is a great time to go check out properties if you're on the market as well. I'd love to go around and look at our properties in various locations where we may be interested in buying. It's a good excuse to have a quick vacation. Oh man, 105 in California. Yikes. Well, I hope you're staying cool, Lisa. And I think we could all use a break from the heat. Love the summer, but it's definitely possible to get too hot. Yeah. I'm surprised. California, the stereotype is that you guys always have perfect weather. Ooh, even in Riverside it's hot. Well, hopefully you can all take a trip somewhere that's a little cooler. All right, so I think everyone has said yes who is interested. So I'm just going to go through and count. I made a mistake once, so correct me if you see any mistakes. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 participants. I'll double check that. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, 15. Okay. Oh, looking for a cooler place. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if you've lived in somewhere with winter though, but snow can be its own challenge. We're a little sick of it. We were a little sick of it last winter in New York. Ouch, 111 degrees. Okay. All right, so I'm going to have Google pick a random number between 1 and 15. Oh, we have one more person, so I'll make this 16. And it looks like number 11 is our winner. So I'll work backwards here. That's 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Let me double check that. So that's 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Stacy, it looks like you are our winner. Congratulations. So I'm going to type in my email here. If you just send me an email, I will send you a list of locations. You don't have to respond right away. You can think about it, talk to your partner, friend, or whoever you may want to bring with you, and let me know, and then I'll send you your voucher. And so congratulations. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and to everyone who's joined. Thank you so much for being here. I think we had a great conversation this weekend, some good questions. So I always enjoy speaking with you all. And Lisa, I hope you make it out to New York. It is, I get fed up with the winters, but it is a beautiful state. And well, we have pretty hot summers, but nothing like 105 degrees. So, thank you all again. And I will be back here, same time, same place next Sunday. So I hope to see you all again and we can continue our conversation. So